And then you obviously have the Caitlyn and Morgana going into team fights, going into the late game. Very, very strong champions. So Fnatic, I see it going in their favor if you go to the real late game part, but SK, they definitely have the tools to win the game before that.
See how these lane phases work. Both these teams are capable of coming back if they lose the lane phase. They've definitely shown it. SK Gaming have shown a number of times that they can make the game go long if they need to, but I feel they're going to try and push some pressure onto Fnatic. Fnatic themselves, well, they're 2-1 in Super Week, as are SK Gaming, so both looking to try and make it a decent record. While the opposition, of course, Fnatic have managed to turn it around a little bit. They managed to keep themselves relevant. They were in danger of really sliding away for a long period of time. They went about that 8-game losing streak. It's not something they wanted.
Definitely not, but they've been doing a good job coming back from this one, and they show some confident signs, and they have actually been very strong as a team. And then we just, in this game around though, we have to notice, oh, who got you onto Reckless?
Reckless getting caught out here. Is it going to be enough? They're going to try to put a lot of damage on him. They will see him going in the bush here. Candy Panda may well follow through on this one. The Ignite is down. Is it going to be enough damage? I'm not too sure. He's going to be safe from this one. Didn't manage to land it in there, so he does back away. Reckless is safe for now, but SK Gaming getting some deep wards in there. The rest of the team are lining themselves out, and Jesus, of course, has landed one of those spears on Peke. You can see Peke taking some damage away from them. Summoner spells, nothing too major there. No barrier was used. We do see Unrated, of course, with that Ignite was burned, but Reckless didn't panic. He was pretty much safe. So Doran's blade items for everybody. Doran's rings for the mid lane, Doran's shields for the top lane, supports. We do see Cyanide starting off with the blue. And of course, we also have a pause here. So we're just saying, looks like it's Reckless actually.
Him out, moving down towards the dragon, and then he joins the team that way. And late game wise, having this teleport is very, very strong for Fnatic, because it means they can always split push and still join in for the fights, and SK don't have that option.
Well, N-Rated does actually finally land it. Cancelled the attack animation now, which is entirely possible, especially as Thresh. It's very easy to do as Thresh actually, because it's quite a long animation.
It's a very long, very slow animation actually. You do hit pretty hard though when you actually decide to land your auto attack due to your E, due to scaling up there, so you have a lot of damage early on with it, especially if you want physical damage runes.
Keep your eye on Freddy. He has been going that triple Doran's build, which I noticed pretty much everyone has started to adjust to now in that top lane.
It's basically saying lane dominance, and it's saying I want to make sure that even if I get ganked, I can actually either turn it around or at least make it away safe, because you get so much early HP and also early power. It is basically just very strong for the lane and getting the farm, and we should actually expect to see Source do the same, because he often plays to win the lane.
Well, Svenskeren coming looking. He's coming in towards this bush. There is no wall placement there, which is why we're seeing SK letting them back up a little bit here. Fnatic Reckless and Yellow Star force them back, slowly going in there. Gets the hook on towards Yellow Star. Well, Svenskeren shows himself very early this time around. He has got that cocoon, remember. Not going to land it. It flashed from Yellow Star, but Svenskeren taken very low here. A lot of damage going down on him. The Ignite is running. I'm not sure it's going to quite be enough, though. He should be able to get away from this one.
I actually like the fact that Svenskeren went in to try and force the flash away from Yellow Star. He did get caught by the binding though, so he was forced to have to back off himself. But every single game he's ganking the bot lane first. At level 3, he goes down there. Cyanide actually trying to sneak in and see if he can find him.
Yeah, he was hoping he'd gone further up by that tower, but he actually recalled right next to it. So Cyanide not going to get in there, but he will steal away the white.
And we need to see here again, Cyanide, he's been farming. He want to get a few levels before doing anything. Oh, binding actually almost catching on to Candy Panda.
Yeah, he dashed actually in almost in the same direction, which was not ideal. Cyanide now making his move down this river, looking towards it, and Candy Panda will certainly be the target.
Oh.
Dark Binding again, goes through the goalpost, doesn't manage to land on an N-Rated or Candy Panda.
If they landed, they would have forced the flash, maybe even gotten the kill, but Cyanide, he's still sticking around. Candy Panda is actually down to 50%, and the Lantern is now on cooldown.
Yeah, he's going to take that Lantern, he dashes away as well. There's a good play on Cyanide, there's a good return damage here, and Rated in trouble. He's going to turn it back around. Candy Panda trying to keep them at bay, but that was a really good counter, and Cyanide, he's licking his wounds.
A lot of action here in the bot lane early on from the junglers, and actually both the junglers, same result. They drop low, have to back off, have to recall to base. Svenskeren now, he was the first one to gank. He's now continuing farming, while Cyanide, he has to go back. He's falling a little bit behind, but it's not too much here and not an issue.
So I was doing a little dance, happy there. He's just been back and got himself a chain vest and teleported back in towards the top lane and dances around for Freddy, saying, it's your turn, Freddy, you go back and buy.
And that's one of the benefits from teleport early on, because you can actually drop low, you can use all your mana, recall to the base and then teleport in without losing too much. So he's using the teleport early on to the full advantage. Of course, if there is a dragon fight now, which we shouldn't expect, he can join in.
Heavy pressure from Fnatic, of course, in this bottom lane. This is due to Cyanide showing his presence down here. Candy Panda very low, getting away from that Dark Binding and Rated, taking it in for the AD carry, but they will clear out this wave. And in terms of farm between them, it's only 5 CS difference.
But look how much pressure Fnatic is putting onto SK when they actually shove the wave all the way up to the turret. Yellowstar, he's trying to fire out the binding. If they actually land onto Candy Panda, they will force a summoner from him, and that's very scary for him, and it makes it a lot harder for him to actually get the CS he wants to under the turret.
So triple Doran's items have been picked up by Freddy. We'll see how that develops up against that chain vest of Soaz. Mid laners are both returned as well, and actually the Chalice was picked up by Jessers, but Peke went the opposite route for the Athenes.
And notice one thing here. Notice here, we actually talked earlier about how you need to ward against Evelynn. There's a ward at the Wolf camp. Svenskan, he walked by it, not being stealth, spotted out, I mean Cyanide of course, he was spotted out and they pinged it so they know Evelynn is in this top area. And that's very good ward placement from SK. And then going to top lane wise, Chain West early on from Source, I like it. It's the standard route against Renekton. You want to stop some of his early game damage, and the Chain West is the best option for it.
Cyanide coming round and again spotted out, this time by the SK Pink ward. Cyanide won't spot that one, so they know exactly where he's just been, where he's warded, where he's backed away. So Jess is feeling safe, Freddy feeling relatively safe. He knows he's actually close by, and look at that, they really are just pinging the exact route that Cyanide is taking.
It's such a smart play. Freddy, of course, he's very overextended, but he is level 6, so he will be able to at least try and survive. If a gank should happen, there's not enough CC to bring actually from Fnatic's side in a gank before Sana. He is level 6 himself.
Well, he's baiting this one out. Svenskone is coming over as well, so they actually want to try and force a play. Svenskone's just hit level 5 as well. Freddy and Soaz are going at it just up the side there. Svenskone about to come around the side. They're just trying to bait. They know Cyanide is nearby. He's trying his best to bait this one out. Still holding on to that Dominus. There's the Dominus. There's the Cocoon. Lands on Cyanide. Expertly played there. Repel out from Svenskone. Not going to get close enough. He does go towards Soaz. Spear comes across from Jesus. Lands in there. Svenskone taking low because Peke comes in. And first blood goes for Fnatic.
And the fact that Svenskan didn't have his flash meant he couldn't actually join in instantly as he landed a Cocoon. And there was also a ward on him, so Fnatic knew that SK was trying to bait this fight out. Very good play, and Peke comes around, picks up the first blood. Can he stop this blue buff?
Well, Cyanide is nearby if they need to smite it away, but they want to try and land it with a spear. They started it off, they've not got a ward position, so they don't really know the exact spot of it. This one won't go to Peke.
So the very smart ward placement again from Source, very experienced because he knew he was pushed down, he knew there was a chance he would get dive. And now hook onto Yellowstar.
Hook on Yellowstar, will they follow it through? They do get a little flay on there and just a little burst of damage from Candy Panda, but Reckless is still applying that pressure on towards Candy Panda.
He's simply just doing a very good job using Caitlyn as this lane bullet as she is, always poking away onto SK with the long range, and obviously Yellowstar, he's just hammering out the bindings every single time he has the chance, and if he lands it, you get a lot of poke. You can also put down your trap with Caitlyn, and so you're binded, then you're trapped afterwards. That's a lot of CC and a lot of damage you will take.
That was a little check there from Jesus through the spear to the red buff. And actually Svenskone will know that that red buff is up. His blue buff himself was just warded out here, so Svenskone is going to get watched out by this one. They're already pinging it out, so they know the position. Not sure if they're going to be able to counter it.
Well, despite actually Svenskone dying up here for the first blood, he's still slightly ahead of XP compared to Cyanide, so if they should meet again for a fight, he will be able to do a lot of damage towards him. But beforehand, we actually saw very good rotation and movement from Fnatic to counter this bait from SK.
Well, I'm sure they'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but some sunny day it will happen. Svenskone goes in towards that dragon. He, of course, on Elise, can tank out this dragon, using those little critters that he's got alongside him. And this will be SK taking the dragon, or will it? So Cyanide comes in, the culling comes on, Yellowstar hooked in there. He's going to try and back away from us when the Ignite is running. Vanishes to the Dark Binding on towards N-Rated, but the dragon is going to go to SK Gaming.
And very good move from SK because Peke was actually recalled to the base, so they knew he wasn't there. And also, due to the fact that they didn't actually have a pink ward, so it could be risky start, but simply because they knew they had 4 members to the 3 members of Fnatic, felt safe, took it. And we talk about how Elise can have this objective control, this dragon control early on, because she's so good at taking them down, she's so good at getting the kill onto them with her execute and her smite. She's also very tanky when it comes to tanking them.
Yeah, and this is why Elise is one of those top favored champions. We heard, I think it was It was actually Cyanide earlier on today that was talking about it. Yesterday, sorry. Saying that it was, yes, Fnatic versus Millennium, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Talking about how RNA had no chance at really beating him out in that smite fight because he could easily just Q, get them fangs along with that smite, so he's always going to have much more damage.
And that's the thing with Elise, you don't really have a weak point because you have a CC, you have some good single target damage, good dragon control, you're strong pretty much throughout the entire game, so Elise just is a very overall safe champion and very good, and so he's dancing away again.
He's dancing, he's happy in the top lane it seems. He's a player that actually doesn't appreciate tanks much, but it was just bait. He's going to go on towards it. Cyanide comes in. Freddy should be able to slide away from this one. It's another bait again, a counter bait. Not going to catch on towards Cyanide this time with that cocoon, but Svenskeren is going to march in there with his spiders.
But SK is definitely expecting this camp onto Freddy. That's why Svenskeren is there always when something happens, and why Freddy didn't use his dash at all. He was just waiting for Fnatic to come closer, and now they're actually going very aggressive onto Source.
There's pressure on every single lane here. You can see SK trying to siege down the top, Dark Binding landing on the bottom, and again the charm and damage from Peke landing on towards Jezz in the mid. Every single lane contested heavily by both these teams.
And we actually saw how much damage Ari can still do as long as she lands the charm, so he gets the 20% more damage. And then the Q followed afterwards. We saw it actually took almost 50% of Jess's before. It's very scary.
So as he's in trouble, the Ignite's running. He may well go down from this one. Will he get taken down? One more hit. He needs to bite on. Svenskeren makes sure of it, jumps in there and gets the kill.
So SK are winning out in this 2v2 duel. Renekton Elise, such a strong combo. Fnatic can't actually do anything in the straight up fight. A bit like we talked about earlier with Elise and how strong he is. And also the fact he's one level ahead of Cyanide.
Peke is keeping a lot of pressure on this mid lane. The turret will go down. It's the first one of the game. And Peke completely dominating that mid against Jezz.
Nidalee is a slow laner. She's fairly weak. We actually also had Cyanide into saying she was more or less just a caster minion in the early stages because you don't have any damage, you don't provide any CC to set up ganks, and it's more or less just been Peke, full control of the lane, and now with the turret down, we can maybe see him rotate somewhere else, possibly to the top lane, trying to kill Freddy.
Well, bottom lane, we see Candy Pan getting 2 auto attacks on towards Reckless. That is the bonus, of course, Lucian has if you get close enough. But very even between these two bottom laners. It is an assist for Candy Panda, which will make up that little gold deficit they've got. And you can see they're both gone for those Bloodthirster builds items first off. Cyanide coming around to cover off Jezz. Just going to make sure he stays away from that tower.
Cyanide, he just needs to get the XP here. So very good for him. He can get the entire wave because Peke is recalled to base. Actually have the DFG already. Very early pick up for him, so if he can catch someone out, he will have so much burst, and every single squishy member from SK will die as long as he lands his combo.
Dark Binding unrated, not followed up. Reckless more interested in making sure he keeps up those farming creep score numbers. And he has got 119 up against 106, so it's working well. Blue buff for Peke, and will be going across, no contesting from SK Gaming. We do see Jezz, he's just gone back on himself out of Athenes and Holy Grail.
So Jezz have some early magic resist and also the mana regen he needs as Nidalee. Once we see SK actually grouping up, starting to throw down the spears, starting the whole siege they can deal with Nidalee. So very good pickup. You know, Cyanide coming towards his top lane. There's no pink ward, so he's not spotted out.
No vision at all, but Svenskeren seemingly with his sixth sense already heading this way. He's going to be taking that red buff to start with, but he is close by if needed. That red buff going down very quickly now.
Generally just a very good start actually for Svenskeren. He's been having everything he needs to. He's actually going towards the Wraiths here, so he won't be joining in for the top fight if something should happen. Source is a level behind compared to Freddy, so we'll see if they want to go for it or just trying to play it safe.
Feel now that he's gone that deep, he's certainly going to go for it. He's going to catch on towards him. There it is. The subjugate goes down as well, so he's going to keep the pressure on towards him. Does use that dominance. He's running for his life. He's got the help coming up the river. Jezz is making his way up there. The flash was used, but again, a flash from Soaz as well, so a good counter. Freddy making a great escape.
And we actually see one of the issues for Trundle in this matchup because he puts up the pillar and then Renekton can dash through it. And instead, for Cyanide, Source, he has to run all the way around it, and it means he can't really join in instantly unless he actually flashes it straight away.
They're trying to set up a gank on Peke here. Svenskeren completely miss him, but look at the burst of damage. Oh, the spear! He manages to use the Spirit Rush. He's going to lounge straight back in there. He can get back on towards Peke. Not going to land this time. Oh, he does! The red buff, I think it was, that was ticking there, got Peke down. He lost his life for it though, but it was worth it.
Yeah, he managed to shoot the very last auto attack when Peke was trying to escape away, which killed him. Yes, okay, Svensson went down, but a good move from him. And Jessis means, this means for Jessis he can just push his mid lane now and try and get at least down to 50%.
Yellow Star actually, ooh, the hook not going to land because he uses that black shield. Candy Panda caught out, and he's going to take that quick lantern to get away. So, Peke, use that DFG on towards Svenskeren, but you just saw the power of Elise. If you walk in towards one of those bushes blindly, you can do a hell of a lot of damage.
And he's gone for this early magic pin build as well, so he will have a lot of single target damage. Whoever he catches out, it's a scary combo for SK. If they land a cocoon, followed by a spear from Nidalee, and then the burst from Svenskeren, you can pretty much kill anyone. And Jessis, simply also due to Peke dying, could now take this mid turret. And then we also have to look at Yellow Star. He has double buff now in this bot lane. Let's see if he can set something up.
That was some good, quick work from Jessis to take that tower down in the middle because it was barely touched. Blue buff now gone across towards him. Peke does not have that blue buff, remember, because he just lost it out and he was just actually trying to take a look across there. There is a pink ward from SK Gaming. That dragon is back up and SK trying to make a move for it, but Fnatic are ready. We already see Freddy. He's heading down the river.
And Peke is actually doing a smart thing, joining the team down here from the south, trying to go up towards the dragon so they stay together. If a fight should break out, they don't come in from different sides, which can be risky. And we do actually not have a teleport on source, so he won't be able to join in.
Spear lands on Yellow Star. Dark Binding counters that from Jessis. The charm on N-rated. Will they follow through? They get a good bit of damage on towards it. Freddy is still waiting. He's in that death bush. The dragon down to half health. Dark Binding still not landing. Fnatic are giving up on this one. Cyanide thought he could get a cheeky smite, but SK take it.
Wisely enough from Fnatic, they don't go in for the fight simply because Source doesn't have to teleport, so he can join in. And also they actually get some good damage, might even the turret here.
They may well get it, but at what cost? Reckless does not get caught out. Thought that might well flash through, but that's 2 towers for a dragon. That's a good trade for Fnatic.
Yeah, Source, he stayed up top, he got the turret down, so very nice move from Fnatic, getting down all the outer turrets from SK very early on. And it's very, very good when you have Evelyn, because it means you can go into the next side of SK's jungle and you can actually find these pink wards they've placed, clear them out, and make it even harder for them to spot out Cyanide if he's moving around.
So Peke taking away the Wraiths while Jessis keeps that mid lane pushed out. Svenskeren takes his own Wraiths away, and that's keeping the farm actually very even, which is a great job for Jessis, honestly, keeping up with Peke on Ahri.
We've seen this with Nidalee. We actually saw with Peke yesterday against LeBlanc. He fell behind early on, but once he got level 6, once he got a few levels, he could actually start farming, and you have some good wave play even in your cat form. So it simply meant that he could start catching up, and now Nidalee will really start shining.
Just trying to bide his time. Freddy going on towards Soaz there. Cyanide close by, Svenskeren close by. Everybody from SK pushing on towards his top turret. They take it without no problem.
And both teams are just so good at the rotation around. So whenever there's a chance of a turret, they just grab it instantly, and that's why we have so many turrets down already. And a fight onto Freddy.
Yeah, they're going to go for Freddy this time around, and quickly we see Svenskeren and Jessis turn back around, but Freddy's in trouble. Dominus is running, but is it going to be enough? Oh, the cocoon lands. Cyanide gets caught out. Freddy survives. Svenskeren gets the kill. Great turnaround for SK.
Very nice counter game from SK. They didn't recall yet, they just started to back off, and now charm onto Svenskeren.
Big burst damage on Svenskeren, but not enough from Peke. And that means that SK Gaming keep themselves that advantage. Bottom lane, you can see tower being pushed here by Candy Panda. We do see Yellow Star coming down. Dark Binding does land on Candy Panda despite using that dash to try and get away. But Candy still got himself some free farm, and look in the jungle. You can see it is going to be N-rated and Jessis both moving their way down here. They want to bait out Yellow Star. They want to push towards him. There comes N-rated. The flay does not land because the Dark Binding was down there. He's not trying the black shield. It's not going to be enough. And N-rated actually getting stunned out here, but SK continued to push.
And SK Gaming, they saw Reckless in the mid lane, that's why Candy Panda, he stayed despite Yellow Star actually coming down there, and he just pushed down the turret. The rest of them came for the gank, but Black Shield onto Morgana makes it very hard for Fresh to actually set something up.
He carries fighting for the golems there. United using that lantern to pull Candy Panda away and saying, come on, you've had enough farm, let's go buy something, which is what he's done. He's got himself that Bloodthirster. The Trinity Force is well underway as well. Meanwhile, Reckless, while he's going towards that static shiv possibly, we'll see whether it works into. Freddy gets himself the red buff in that top lane along with that Warden's Mail with that Ravenous Hydra he's been building up. Meanwhile, Blade of the Rune King for Soaz along with that Chain Vest he bought right at the start.
I actually like the fact SK gives the red buff to Renekton. It gives him the chance to 1v1 Source for even longer. So they want to make sure that he can stay in this lane, he can still dominate and farm against Source who has teleport. So if we get to the point where Source will beat out Renekton, that's the issue for SK, where they need to do something else on the map. So they're wisely enough giving red buff over, and the brutalizer will give some good early damage as well for Freddy.
And that's actually a giant part of SK's strategy generally. Freddy holding his own in that top lane. We have seen Svenskeren going up there a bunch of times, helping out with those ganks, but he is keeping it up very well with Soaz and keeping in control. You can see in terms of farm, he's got a 30 CS difference. He's got them 2 assists. It's working wonders for him at the moment.
And there was the whole tactic, as you just said, because they knew Sana would put focus onto Freddy. So that's why Svenskeren was there, ready to always counter gank and make sure Freddy would stay ahead, so he can delay Soaz being strong 1v1 for as long as possible.
And look at the gold difference between Svenskeren and Cyanide. It's a nearly 2,000 gold differential between those junglers because Svenskeren has been there to counter every move the Cyanide makes and get the kill on top of it.
And he got the kill here. He did give up the first spot, but that's been the only bad move for him. Everything else have worked out for him pretty well. And it's actually funny to see how both teams have killed all the outer turrets for each other so early on in the game. It really shows we've had a lot of action and also a lot of shifting in the lanes.
Well, the mid lane is the focus at the moment. They're trying to look on towards Reckless. Reckless not going to get fooled by that one. Candy Panda being pursued by Peke. He's got to be careful. That's going to be a very close trade between the two. The fact he's got that DFG should be able to burst him down, but SK are pushing on towards his middle turret.
And they're doing what they can do with this combo, despite Nidalee actually not being there. When she joins in with the team, starts landing these spears, the siege combo from SK will force Fnatic to actually hard engage. And the only hard engage they have here is either Sana coming from behind or the side, or Pega landing a charm or bind from Yellow Star.
Slow reactions from Fnatic. They're not too sure whether they are needed. This time the charm does land on Svenskeren. Peke puts some good damage down, but wow, that spy linen doing a heck of a lot. Now then Rated, he's going to get dived on here, but Yellow Star, the ultimate runs off there. There is one kill and Rated goes down. They can turn this one, but SK Gaming are not done yet. They're going to try and keep this siege running.
Well, we saw both the charm landing first for Pega onto Svenskeren, and then we saw the binding from Yellow Star onto Unrated, so they picked up the kill they want, they got the fight they want, and now they're going on to Source.
The cocoon on Soaz not really the target they wanted. Svenskeren taking a few unnecessary shots from that tower. SK Gaming are trying to last this siege out. Fnatic, well, they're trying to do a relay race back to that fountain. Cyanide getting caught out, getting stunned out by Freddy while the rest of the team continued to beat it down. They really wanted that inner turret, but the teleport from Soaz coming into the top lane. Fnatic are going to chase on this one. Soaz continues to chase on there. He's got that pillar of ice. If he can land it, goes on towards Svenskeren and bounces him back away though. Fnatic may try and take advantage of this one and push the mid lane, which is why SK Gaming, they're just turning this one back around.
And we actually saw how hard it was for Source to find a target to use his pillar and ice off, because you have to dash on Renekton, and obviously you have to dash onto Lucian, and also Nidalee can jump over it in Cougar form. So very hard for him to pick a target. Wisely enough, he actually saved it for Svenskeren, but the rest of Fnatic weren't in a position to catch up.
Right, Soaz keeping his eye on Freddy. They know that Freddy's not there. It is actually the Dragon, so they know this is a 4v5 opportunity. Fnatic may well try and challenge this one.
Sana is far away though, he's all the way down in the base, so there's no smite, and they're not even able to go in here and actually contest this one.
Fast Dragon, but now they're going to have to run and try and defend Fnatic. You can see Soaz, he wants to use that pillar to try and head off the entire team. Uses the ward to keep their vision. The rest of Fnatic pushing up, trying to get this inner turret. Freddy is making his way around there. SK kind of caught out of position here, and Rated's going to be the one to take the front brunt of this damage, but they're going to come around the side. The culling comes on there. Peke's forced back away. Soaz is caught up. Freddy's chasing on towards him. It's a deep, deep hook from N-Rated. He goes very deep. Cyanide pays the price. He gets caught out there. Fantastic play from the support, and now Soaz, he's in trouble. Flashes away. The Ignite was running. Freddy gets another slice and slices through Soaz. It's 2 kills for SK Gaming. What a counter.
And that hook followed up by the box from N-Rated. He got into the middle of the entire Fnatic team because Pega actually dashed away. And now SK going towards this Baron. 5 members alive, only 3 members from Fnatic, and Pega is all the way down in the base.
This is actually doable. SK Gaming making some big plays here. There was a counter to the counter to the counter to the counter. It's gone from middle tower to Dragon to middle tower of SK Gaming, and now to the Baron. And it's SK Gaming that will take this one. Fnatic not even near it.
So Fnatic decides not to try and fight for it. Reckless is out of mana, and at the same time, Yellow Star all the way down to 50% HP, so they didn't feel like they could do anything. And SK Gaming picks up a very early Baron actually, and very nice move from them, and now they can really use this Nidalee to just go down 5 members, start firing away the spears, and if they land one, they can go towards the turret.
And with that Zhonya's Hourglass completed, if Peke does choose to focus him, he will be very quick hitting that golden Nidalee. Soaz himself, well, he's having to have a rough time in this top lane. He's been trying to focus with Freddy alongside Cyanide, but Svenskeren really has stopped them every step of the way. It's something that we're getting quite used to saying for SK Gaming these days.
But Fnatic did actually do the right thing here early game because they put the focus onto the only lane they would actually lose by itself. That was the Trundle up top, so they did the right thing there. At the same time, Peggy won the mid lane. We saw the bot lane taking the turret as well after the dragon. So overall, we can't say Fnatic haven't done a good job, but the combo from SK, at least in the last team fight we saw, with Renekton and obviously with the great hook from Enrated followed by the box, was simply such strong play from SK, and Fnatic, they couldn't do anything to it.
Well, Randy and Zerman is now being completed by Freddy. Meanwhile, Soaz has still not got that Sunfire cape complete, so he really can't get close to Freddy. Meanwhile, we see SK Gaming, they have 4 members running down that mid lane. Sorry, 3 members. Enrate is lagging a little bit behind. He's trying to catch up. They want that inner turret. They may well get it, but Freddy's in trouble in the top lane. He's going to have to use that dominance. He tries to focus on Peke. He's going to go down. He's just simply buying time for the rest of his team now. And SK Gaming, they know they've got some free time. They can push on this inhib.
They might even be able to go into the next turret because Peke and Source are recalling now. There will be some time before here, and they will get it.
They're going to get the tower down. Can they get the inhibitor? I think they might do. There's a lot of damage going to go on towards it, that's for sure. Peke comes in there. Oh, good dodge from Svenska, and Lantern gets thrown down. They're not going to take the Lantern. Now he steps towards it. Cyanide in trouble. He might get caught out. The Ignite's running. I'm not too sure it's going to be enough. It will be, and Rated gets the kill. Wow, what a turn and burn for SK Gaming, and that's the problem when you leave yourself so exposed up a Baron team.
Yeah, Fnatic invested 2 members on to try and kill Freddy, and yes, he did go down, but it just meant the rest of SK pushed all the way down, got both the inhibitor and also a kill onto Cyanide, so very nice trade for SK.
So bottom lane is now the focus for SK Gaming, and 4 members come down here. Freddy's a long way off, of course, but they may well get on towards this inner turret. Spear comes in, lands on Peke. That's Fnatic having to back away. Another inner turret. This is 3 turrets already for SK Gaming with his Baron buff.
And that's just the pain of playing against Nidalee. Either you hard engage instantly so you don't get hit by these spears, or you get hit, you go back to base, you buy your home guards, and then you try and come back and join in for the fight.
So much damage coming out of SK Gaming. The call in on Yellowstar, he goes down, and now SK Gaming, oh, Jess is going to get caught out, but Peke gets popped straight away, and it's a double kill for Candy Panna. Now they're turning on towards it. Svenska running in towards Cyanide. Freddy gets on towards him. Cyanide's going to go down. SK Gaming are just ruining Fnatic's day. They could finish the game right here.
They can finish it, and Jessis, he managed to pop his Sonias before he actually died when the charm was gone, and SK, they're just pushing on.
What a turnaround. All that counterplay action in the mid lane has led to SK Gaming finishing the game in quick style. It's a 27-minute game, ladies and gentlemen. El Clasico, I'm not sure. SK Gaming just wrecked Fnatic.